Dave Ramsey still hates Bitcoin with a passion, and this video shows exactly why that is the case. Here, a viewer calls in and asks him if he should invest some of his money into Bitcoin, and that's his actual answer.
But there you go.
The good kind.
Today's question comes from Jason in Connecticut, who's also not evolved. Can we start treating Bitcoin the same way you would treat single stocks? Crud, son. I understand you're not a fan. No kidding. Where'd you figure that out? But an asset with $1 trillion market cap is not a beanie baby. No, but it's still thin air. Ask people like Warren Buffett, who says if he doubled the amount he had put in Bitcoin, he would still have zero because that's the amount he's put in Bitcoin. I'm going with Warren on this one.
So just that you know that Warren Buffett and Dave Ramsey, they really dislike Bitcoin, and yeah, you will see why that is the case.
Not saying you have to add it to your portfolio, but it's a good enough asset to invest 5%. No, it's not.
Okay, I don't know where the 5% comes from.
I don't know where the $1 trillion
number.
market cap comes from. Mist and smoke and mirrors, like the whole
here's what's
freaking
happened,
concept.
Dave. While you were enjoying some time off, Bitcoin has shot from the ground to the moon and probably back up again, and so now everyone's getting loud again.
No way.
Because it's hit all-time highs, and so now everyone's going, see, Dave is wrong about this.
You know what? We've got something else that repeats itself, like gold. See, I've been doing this show for 32 years, and ever so often gold goes up, and everybody goes, see, Dave, I told you. And then it goes down, and those people just disappear. And then it goes up, and they go, see, Dave, I told you. You don't understand gold. You don't really understand. Gold has value. Like what?
Yeah, he's actually right there, because all the time when there is a bull run, and I have already experienced two of them, and if everything goes right, then the next is coming soon. And when there is a bull run, there are a lot of new people in the space, and they are huge fans until like the market breaks down and they lose their money. There he is actually right, but he cannot compare like Bitcoin with gold, because Bitcoin has more utility than gold itself.
Well, why does it have value? Because people like you. It's a commodity. That's where people get value. The only reason gold has value is two people agreed it had value and they fought over it. That's the only reason. That's the same reason that green paper has value. Two people agreed it had value and they fought over it. That's what gives something value. So commodities are exactly the same way as currencies, and Bitcoin, someday, all kidding aside, all sarcasm aside, someday it may level out and become a thing. But Jason, it's not there.
He might actually believe in it, but he does not understand it well enough that he will put his own money in there. And I believe actually that's the main problem here, because like rich people like he is, they only invest in things they actually understand. And he obviously does not understand Bitcoin well enough that he would actually put some money in there. Warren Buffett actually does the same. He only invests in like companies that he completely understands and knows that he has an advantage in the market. And I guess that's the situation here with Dave Ramsey as well, because he's not a stupid guy. He's actually really smart. He has built businesses. He's a successful realtor, or was a successful realtor, and now owns a lot of real estate. But Bitcoin is just not his business. And I think that's mostly, the reason why he has such a passion to hate Bitcoin. I kind of think it's funny.
It's not there. I wouldn't wish a Bitcoin investment on somebody I really dislike.
That's saying something.
I really would. I mean, I don't even want those people to lose money.
Well, even then, I see single stocks very differently, because stocks are based on a company's performance and revenue being created.
Well, that's because you're intelligent.
I didn't have to think that deeply to get there. And so, again, I'm not mad at Bitcoin, but to say Bitcoin is the same as a single stock is just not true.
No, Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you invest in stocks, then the stock produces dividends, and then you basically earn from that, or funds and different stuff like that. But you can't really compare Bitcoin to stocks. I agree with them both. Like if you invest in Bitcoin, it's kind of a speculation, because the only thing that you can hope for is that Bitcoin goes up in value. But what they neglect to say is that there is a limited amount of Bitcoin that will ever exist here, and that's a huge edge in the market. And like Bitcoin has so many different utilities that our normal money does not have. It can be looked at as digital property. That's huge, and yeah, I think they should not neglect that. And if this guy wants to invest like 5% of his earnings into Bitcoin, why should he not do that? Like, if he wants to, like, but it's a reasonable question. But yeah, you should not expect an answer in a way that they would support Bitcoin. Like, everybody can do with their money what they want to do, and yeah, eventually the future will tell us if it was right. But I agree with them also that you only should invest in things that you understand. And in my opinion, they do not understand Bitcoin well enough to actually have a reasonable investing or to be comfortable in their investment. Like, I guess they haven't read like a lot of books where you get taught how Bitcoin actually works, like I did before I invested into all of that.
Bitcoin is a currency.
It's speculation based on hype.
Currencies have no value except for their track record that indicates that two people are willing to fight over them. That's why the yen versus the dollar, the pound versus the dollar, the Deutschmark versus the yen, these things compared back and forth. It's the faith that people have in something. And of all the currencies, Bitcoin has the least faith.
Yeah, but you can't compare a normal fiat currency with Bitcoin because the government basically controls them. Like, to some extent, Bitcoin is also controlled by the government. But like, tell me where there is a currency, a fiat currency that has a limited supply. Like, the government always has the right to like print more money and inflate the buying power away. That's basically not the same. And that's what they neglect completely, in my opinion, here.
It's the most...
I've heard a lyric once. You got to have faith, Dave.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't going to go there. oh, yeah, there's it. I mean, it's not... yeah, so it's going to continue to be volatile until it's not.
Definitely.
And even then, I don't invest in the Iraqi dinar because it had Saddam Hussein's face on it, and no one has faith in that currency anymore. I don't invest in Confederate dollars from the Civil War because no one any longer has faith that they have value except as a collectible. I do not invest in things where people have not established a long track record of faith. And even then, on a currency, I don't invest in a currency. I would utilize it. I would utilize it. So to the point that I don't trust PayPal to be an exchange. That's a trust mechanism. I don't use PayPal for an exchange. So I don't even use Bitcoin for an exchange because it's too freaking out there for that.
Yeah, he just does not see the value in it, but it's reasonable because he has like a different investment strategy. And so like Bitcoin is not on his radar. He has better investments that he can take. And so, yeah, it's his choice. But I still would say that he should not hate that much on Bitcoin, like online. Like, I assume that he does that like just because he likes to hate on Bitcoin that much. I kind of like that, but yeah. He actually makes Bitcoin more famous when he mentions it on his big platform.
But it's a currency, honey. It's not an investment, to George's point.
Well, Dave, you just don't understand the blockchain technology. And once you get it, you'll change your mind. That's the line I hear all the time.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't understand the blockchain. It's the future. Maybe it is.
You know, when you say stuff like that, it indicates you don't understand investments. Because I've seen 4 cycles in my adult life of the nothing down real estate come and go. 4 cycles of it. We're in the 4th right now on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram. But I've seen 4 of them. Some of you aren't old enough to have seen one of them.
Yeah, but now that's the thing that I have mentioned before. Like, now he talks about a market that he actually understands really well because he has made his money in there. And yeah, you can compare like two different markets. They are not the same. Like real estate can't be compared with like a Bitcoin cycle. That's completely different.
And so you're going to fall headlong into it like I did the first time and bloody your freaking nose. So you can decide, do old people have wisdom from their experience, or are they out of touch and they don't understand blockchain technology? You don't understand because you didn't grow up with an iPhone in your hand. You didn't use it as a pacifier, so you don't know how the world works. See, you can decide that if you want, or you can decide to actually freaking learn something. Create.
I think that's kind of funny. Like now it's the end of this video. He likes to have his rage on Bitcoin. And yeah, I agree with him. You can learn a lot from older people, but that does not mean that they understand everything, and you still can make your own mistakes. And if you actually study what you want to invest in, then it's reasonable that you can have a try if you understand what you are doing. And yeah, you make it hurt or burnt. That's also something that happened with me initially, but then I learned from it, got more into it, and yeah, learned more about it. And that's all a process. Like what he did in the past with real estate is now happening right now with Bitcoin. It's just a different market. So you at the end you can decide what you want to do, but I definitely don't agree with him. But I think it's also quite funny because he indirectly promotes Bitcoin by having it on his platform or mentioning the whole thing on his platform.